Howdy, folks. Howdy. Howdy, folks. I'm Black Dragon. Welcome to another edition of the Black Dragon's Round Table. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. So if you guys watched my last show, Biker Wives with Tia and the ladies, man, the technical problems just destroyed that show. But I think they pulled it out and did a good show in the end. And this just looks like Technical Problem Sunday. We don't have our guests tonight. I don't know. I've talked to our folks. Everything was supposed to happen. Folks were supposed to come on, but things happen, especially in the club world. Because, in the club world, things could be going fine 1 second, and then the next second kaput. But, so this will be my first roundtable, like by myself. But I think I can handle it. I wanted to talk in particular. I got a message today. It was an interesting message on my Black Dragon Biker TV on TikTok. And it was a message interesting to me about this idea of so many people ask me, how do you start a motorcycle club? I want to start a motorcycle club. I want to start a motorcycle club. And one of the things that I find interesting is so many people come up to me and talk about, I'm in an independent motorcycle club and we're not wearing any support patches, and we're neutral and all these kinds of things. And I wanted to get the one percenters and outlaw clubs on tonight, and I had several that said they were going to show up. Here's one guy right here. As you guys know, and I'm glad he made it. We have Big Bone One Spark. Hello. 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 Boom.
Echo 39. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Echo 3. Test satisfactory. So, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I hope we're not going to have one of these can you hear me things going on again. Am I echoing like crazy?
Hey, can you hear me? I can't hear anything.
I hear you. Go out and come back in. I just don't understand what's going on with these systems because they normally work. Can you hear me, man?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's not using this. I got new gadgets I'm playing with, and I was there for a minute. Now I'm not, but you can hear me okay?
Perfect.
Let me see. Hold on. What's this? Echo 39. How copy over? Nothing. Hold on.
No, you're
what
not,
about now?
No, you're not
Nothing.
On the mic.
Right.
Yeah, you're not on the mic.
All right, I give it up. I'll play with this another time.
I hear you on the external system, not on the mic. But anyway, I was telling the guys on my TikTok, I got an interesting question today, and I'd asked some folks to join me tonight. I'm glad you made it. This idea of I talked to a lot of guys. They always ask me how to start a club, and one of the questions I got today, it just really kind of cracked me up, was how do I start a club, Black Dragon? I've reached out to the Diamond. I've reached out to the Dominant and haven't heard anything back. Mm-hmm. And it made me smile. I said, well, how did you reach out? And and then I talked to all these guys that tell me, I'm not wearing a support patch. I'm in a we're independent. We're an independent club, and we're like switch sides. And I hear a lot of these kinds of things, and it's interesting to me that for some of these things to occur, you have to have a relationship with the people that are running things in the place you're trying to come to. And I thought it would be an interesting show to talk about for a few minutes, how to establish relevant relationships with the Diamonds, the COCs, the clubs that you have to go through. You're going to go through them one way or another. You're going to see them coming up. You're going to see them come or going down. And, this idea of, Yeah, well, I got in touch with them, or I sent them a message. I haven't heard anything back. Like, what did you do? Did you go on Facebook and hit their Facebook page, or did you send an email? Did you hit them up on their social media site and leave a message? Hey, man, we want to start the Dirty Boy Get Down Squad MC. Let us know when our blessing is in the mail. I mean, uh, I'm
Right,
just,
right.
I'm just curious about it, and I wanted to get some of you cats on to talk about what needs to happen to establish and maintain working relationships that keep your club safe, operating smoothly, and moving the way they should move out there on the set. So that's the lead in. So let's just talk about the first thing: starting motorcycle clubs. How do I mean? Everyone's going to say, why don't you just go to a motorcycle club that's already up and established? But you can say that all day, all night, and all day and all night.
Mm.
Uh, these guys have it in their mind that their way of motorcycling is going to be better than anything that's out there. And they're not going to be satisfied until they at least get an opportunity to try. So,
Well,
for those guys,
okay.
let's just, get the ball rolling.
All right. So first of all, let me say something to start with that's very unpopular. Um, and that's this: is that some of these guys are right, and what I mean by them saying for their particular brand of motorcycling or for what it is that they see in their head and in their heart and all like this, they think that they've got the answer. They've got the squad, the team, the group of guys, and they all think a certain way. You know what? And here's the thing: God bless you. Like they say, go with God. Um, Sometimes they're right, and let me give you a few examples, and I'm going to follow up with this in a second. They're right in the sense that all all of these. Let me qualify myself. All legitimate MCs started off with one or two or three or five or friggin' 10 guys who said, "Man, we should do this and we should do it this way, and here's why we want to do it." So all motorcycle clubs on day one had that same thought. Or sometimes it was just some guys hanging around who people started calling them by a certain name, and next thing you know, they got some vests that look alike, and next thing you know, they're a club. And I'm speaking way back when. I don't mean 20 minutes ago. I mean like back in the day when this whole thing was first getting going. So that way of thinking is not necessarily a horrible thing, nor should it be punished or you want to step on somebody's neck because they think a certain way. In fact, to a great degree, we encourage the thinking, the individualism. The thing. Hey, we want to do our own thing because that's shit. That's the ideology of one percenters. We believe in what we believe in. Having said that, this is not 1920, and there's rules to the set, and it doesn't mean that just because you want to start a club, it's a bad idea. But if all the ingredients are there to whereas it's a good idea to start a club, okay, fine. Um, but again, all the ingredients need to be there. We're going to talk more about the ingredients in a little bit. But so let's say you want to start a club, right? First thing, if I was to give a knee jerk reaction, what not to do is just don't go out and just do the damn thing because you felt like it or you watched 2 episodes of Sons and now you feel cocky and you think you know it all. First thing to do is do your homework, research the area in which you are in, find out who the folks are that you guess what need to talk to, find out who those folks are, and you start crossing the T's and dotting the I's. As in, find out, when I say do your homework, find out what a motorcycle club is. Surprisingly, there's guys who say, I want to start a motorcycle club and have no clue what the hell they're talking about. So find out what a motorcycle club is. Find out what a motorcycle club is in your area. Find out what, if any, requirements there are. Find out who you need to interact with. Find out and have a idea or not just a mission statement, but have an idea about what your club is supposed to be about. Some clubs are just about, hey, we want to get on our motorcycles and ride from point A to point B and have a whole lot of fun. Then there's some other clubs that say, hey, man, we want to put together this club because we believe in the charity of people who broke their left toe, and we want to help those people who are having trouble with the left toe, and that's what we're all about. We're the left toe riders, or whatever it is. Make an idea about what the genuine complexion, or the make an come up with a plan as to who your club is supposed to be. And when I say complexion, I don't mean nationality, even though that comes into play sometimes. But I'm talking about what your club, what you're really down for. And if everybody in your club is on that same page, then hey, chances are that's what your club is about. So that's a great place to start. And I'm talking about, this is before you bought a motorcycle or started riding it, even though you should be riding a motorcycle if you want to be in a motorcycle club. But before you guys formed up, before you start, hanging out, going to places on the set, before you put on the same color T-shirts and all this kind of jazz, first thing, get some ideas about who you are. So that's the first starting point of it.
Yeah, know who you are before you go try to approach anyone else.
Yeah.
To do anything, and I tell clubs that all the time. Clubs today are not MCs; they're see me's, and it's a lot of a see me, see me, see me. You want to get out on the biker set and ride and be seen and be in your pack, etc., before you even know who the hell your pack is. You loosely associate a group of guys together, and you haven't spent any time riding. I'd say 6 months to a year, just hanging out, riding, and getting to know each other before even, I would say, before even going on the set, um, to know who your club brothers and stuff are. But
Right.
now you're at the point where you're trying to start a club or whatever the case may be. So now you need to be able to interact with these boards or COCs, or in some areas face to face with a diamond. So
Yeah.
how do you go about that? I mean, it's really quite intimidating for many folks to. Ain't nobody fixing to roll up to your clubhouse, see that big old skull and stuff, looking down at folks, and there's not a welcome. I've been to many of them. I've yet to see a welcome sign open to the public.
Yeah.
Come on in. There's not even a welcome mat on the floor.
Yeah. I've never seen that before. Now that you mention it, I've never actually seen that myself. But I'll tell you what. There's a couple of different avenues, and again, provided that you crossed them early T's, did your homework, dotted the I's, and all this kind of stuff. Let's flash forward to the point to where is all those concerns have been satiated. One of the very next things to do, and again, this is I say it all the time, regional or I don't mean to say jurisdictional, but a lot of these things are based on where you are. But let's say you're an existing club, right? An existing, not a startup, but an existing club, and your only chapter is in California, and two of your members, let's call them new members, they've been in their club for less than 6 months, and they don't even know a whole hell of a lot, but now for some reason they live in Florida. Well, the first thing you want to do when you're coming to an area is find out about two things you want to know. One, which COC's area do you fall in? You want to get familiar with the COC. You want to reach out to the COC. Now, and this is one of the few occasions where you can actually do that millennial shit and actually go online and find the COC's website and send a text or an email or a lot of times it's a phone number where you can call and say, hey, I'm so and so from the ABC Riders out of freaking Spokane, Washington, or wherever, and we're thinking about coming to this area. Who should we talk to? What should we do? You're going to get a wealth of information right there. Not always necessarily the information that you want to hear, but you're going to be directed. At the very least, you're going to be directed. Now, let's say in the case of, and it kind of sort of goes in a similar fashion for a brand new club or a club that's, trying to, either way. But so let's say you're a brand new club. You've been in the area for a long time, and for whatever reason, you decided you want to be in a motorcycle club. You did all the stuff. Well, the very next thing to do was, one, if you've been in the area, you should have an idea as to who the dominant is for your area. Now, deciding what you don't want to do is just show up at their clubhouse, even though some people have done that. But what you want to do is get on your motorcycle, and here's the answer to a whole lot of stuff. Get on your motorcycle and actually ride it. sounds too simple, right? As some of my army friends say, too easy, right? But the truth is, you want to get on your motorcycle and you want to ride it. If you're riding your motorcycle, you're going to be out and about. You're going to meet folks, and that's a big part of this. You have to, if you want to be a part of the motorcycle community, you need to know what the motorcycle community is and who the folks are, and where people go and all like that. So hit some bike nights and hit some motorcycle club events. And guess what? Here's the scary part. You see some of those guys uh, that might be a part of that dominant group. Guess what? Put on your big boy pants, man up, go over, introduce yourself.
How do you do that? How do you introduce yourself?
Well,
Is there something special to it? I mean, something
well,
different introducing yourself to one
well,
percent club other than what you
well,
do in normal life? Or I mean, give us the potion.
now again, what I'm saying, this is sort of like the overall general version, and there's a lot of things that vary from one area to the other as far as what they believe in and what they think protocol is. But in plain speaking, let's say you're out at the bike night and you see the guys who you think are or you've been told those are the guys you need to talk to. That's the dominant for your area, and those are the fellas that you need to seek a blessing from. Well, the best thing to do is, like a man, because at the end of the day, we're all supposed to be grown men and women, right? As a grown man, you're going to go up. You see these fellas. Do not be trying to be Billy Bad. Forget whatever you've seen in the movies or any of that kind of stuff. Don't go with the cocky and the talking trash and trying to have too much swagger and all of this old kind of. Forget all that cool stuff. Go over, be respectful, like a grown man. Introduce yourself. Hello, my name is
Right.
such and such. Me and my friends ride together right now. I'm so and so and so and so. Chances are that one of a couple of different things are going to happen. Either that guy is going to say, "Hi, my name is so and so, one percenter from so and so and so and so," or he's going to tell you, or he might not answer at all. He might tell you to kick rocks, get the hell out of his face right now. Because the thing is, you don't know what, if anything, they have going on. Looking at this MC stuff from new eyes, you don't know whether it's a really good time or it might be a really bad time. You don't know because you don't know how to read that stuff yet. A lot of times as a new guy, you don't know what's going on. And sometimes MCs, one percenters and otherwise, have something going on right now, and you don't know what that is. So you try to introduce yourself as if it's a bad time, keep it moving. If you're still breathing when you left, hey, no big deal. It was a bad time. I'll catch him later. And but the majority of the time, someone's going to tell you, hey, man, it's not a good time. I'll catch you another time.
Right.
If you got a phone number, hey, man, I'd love to talk to one of y'all. Offer your phone number. That don't mean he's going to take it or ever even call you. But you're conducting yourself as a man.
Right.
I have something I want to talk to you all about if you get a minute. No disrespect. I don't mean to interrupt. You're not kissing too much ass, but you're being respectful because this is like jailhouse rules. Jailhouse rules are predicated on respect. Respect and strength. Those are the two things that matter in jail. Right?
Respect and strength.
So if you come like a man, act like a man, be respectful. I ain't saying you got to come over there kissing nobody's butt, but you got to come over and be respectful. And if you do that, guess what? You got to give it like you get it. If you give respect, the majority of the time you're going to get respect. If you come over like a mealy mouth, hey fellas, I didn't want to. Guess what? You're going to be treated just like you're acting.
Yeah.
So come over. A lot of these cats, you're going to be. I think the average person would be surprised that the average club member, the average dominant, if they're not the person for you to be talking to. And maybe on day one, hey, we don't know who the hell you are. Maybe you don't need to know who my boss is, or maybe you don't need to know who it is that calls that shot right now, this second. But if you come around enough, or if you talk to the right person enough, ultimately you're going to be somewhere sitting or standing in front of the folks who actually make those sort of decisions, or that can give you the guidance that you need in order to get your club where you want it to be. And now here's the catch-22 about this. You could do everything the right way and still be advised that now is not a good time for your club to be coming out. The city's there's an expression. The city is closed right now. That's the actual expression. Many club member have heard that before. The city is closed right now. That means no new clubs right now. Or The new clubs that are getting started are support clubs to such and such. That's what we're doing right now. We'll talk about this again down the road. Hey, keep coming around. Let's figure out who you are. So let's just say that everything goes okay. You talk to the fella, and they're like, "Hey, nice to meet you." This, that, and other thing, and they give you an invite. Hey, we're going to be out here next week. Why don't you slide through? Make it your business to come through. He's not going to beg you. If he said, "Hey, why don't you come on through next week?" Make it your business to show up.
That's the important one. Yeah.
And then the other thing is, if it comes to pass that someone says, "Hey, man, I'll tell you what, come on down to the clubhouse on Thursday, and we'll throw back a beer or two. Maybe we'll talk about this." Make it your business to show up, because here's the thing: if you're a flash in the pan, you ain't going to be around for a while. You're going to show straight away. You have a tendency not to show up or not to listen to some instruction, device, or suggestion that's been given to you. If you don't want to do the right things, or you don't want to do those very simple things, then no one's going to be interested in wasting their time with you, because you showed them straight away. Hey, I told that guy to come by on Thursday. He ain't here, so must have not been that important. So we've already made our decision about this cat or these guys. So that's just, and it sounds like the most, like slight insinuation, or, man, you didn't really say I had to show up. Do I really have to say that? If I told you to show up, said, "Hey, why don't you come on through?" I'm telling you to come on through. You don't want to come by? There you go. Because nobody's going to make it extra difficult on themselves. I already got mine. So if you want yours, put in the work.
Right. So we move into that situation where, okay, so uh you're up and you're blessed and you're running and you're established. You've done all that stuff. So, the video was, the subject was how to have good relationships, how to build good relationships, foster good relationships, and mentor good relationships. So now, I know you guys, you see this club comes in and you bless them, and they manage to not wind up with a support patch. They're the independent club.
Mm.
And you bless them, and then you never ever see them again. Talk to me about that. How does that work towards the uh, relationship building?
Well, and again, every place is different. I'm going to censor myself a little bit, but I'll tell you like this. The way it works is like this. Let's say there's a club typically when a club is blessed on day one, that club, whoever that dominant is that gave them the go ahead, they gave them the, "Hey, yeah, you're good to go." Typically, along with that blessing is going to come a group of requirements, and the requirements, they vary greatly from one area to another area. But basically, one of the most basic things is show up every now and then. Like a lot of times nobody's going to put their foot on your neck or anything like that. Hey, man, come by every now and then. Say hey. Come hang out. We're doing a thing on such and such. Come on by every now and then. Now, flip side of the coin, let's say if the club is doing all that stuff, great, no problem. There's typically zero issues, other than the issues that club members make for themselves. You know what I mean? But when a club gets a blessing and then they just straight go ghost, they might be out and about town doing whatever they're doing, but the dominant club never sees them. Guess what? The same way you got it is the same way you can lose it. Just because you got blessed doesn't mean that blessing is not infinite. It's not like someone can't say, "Hey, we might have made a mistake. Let's revisit this subject." So, but that goes back to legitimate relationships. And so here's one of the reasons, and this is something that people don't really get. One of the reasons that there is this system in place, and one reason why there's blessings that are given. A support club is a support club, and that's a club that is directly adjacent to or directly beneath, or that's a support club. That's part of the family, right? And those clubs are a little bit different in the sense that you might have a tendency as a dominant club. Hey, you might spend more time with them. You guys have a different, stronger relationship with support clubs. Now, with a club that just got a blessing, in some areas that club doesn't necessarily have to be a support club, like the independent club that you mentioned. Doesn't have to be a support club. Hey, they're out doing their thing. But if you have good relationships throughout the entire community, that's what this blessing is all about. But the other thing is this, is that if you're just some club, especially if you're not very well known, you're just some club and you go, let's say 200 miles away from home. You're in the same state, 200 miles away from home. You might be in somebody else's territory. There's a different dominant where you happen to find yourself. That dominant is going to be, hey, who the heck are you, and who told you that it's okay for you to be wearing that and doing this, and so on and so forth. As a club that has a blessing, you get to answer that question. And depending on who that dominant is, you can sometimes answer that question very, not defiantly necessarily, but you can say it with a great amount of
You don't
confidence.
like it, call Big Bone Outcast. That's
Yeah,
what you.
yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. You can do that, and guess what? A lot of times the headaches go away. I have a business card that I give out to some different folks that I know. I'll give them the business card. I'm like, hey man, you got any headaches? Just give me a call. I've gotten less calls from people that I gave the card to, and a heck of a lot more people calling. Hey, so and so's. This is so and so calling from 300 miles away from where you are, and ran into these guys, and they're saying that you said they're good. I'm like, yeah, they're good. Okay, that's all we needed to know. Then the next call I get is, hey, I don't know what you said to that guy, but man, they sure changed their tune. They bought me a beer, or all of this kind of stuff, because these dominant clubs have relationships, and there's independent clubs, and these 99 clubs and so forth that either don't have those relationships or don't necessarily have the same they're not appreciated in the same way as these dominant clubs are. So a reason to make sure that you do things the right way, or really honestly, so you don't get into situations that you don't want to be in. Now, when you're sitting around the clubhouse, or in some cases, while you're sitting around your buddy's living room, chit chatting, y'all don't have a clubhouse yet. You're sitting around in the living room on Thursday because that's the night you guys normally hang out and play Dungeons and Dragons and whatever it is that you do, right? And you're sitting around the clubhouse or wherever, and you're talking all this tough guy stuff. All that's great in the living room. But when you get on your motorcycle and you're out there in the world, and a whole bunch, some guys from this other club, and it's 60 of them, and they don't seem like the bunch of sweethearts that you thought they would be, things are different. Things are real different. You're not a tough guy no more. You're like, oh hell, where's that card? And it's a good thing to use it. It's a good thing to use it. It's without I'm censoring the hell out of myself right now. But what I'm saying is just that we do things for a reason. They've been done for a reason, a really long time. And you know, fellas, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't let your ego get you in situations that you really don't want to be in. If you're not that dude, don't tell folks that you're that dude, because eventually someone's gonna need that dude. So this is all about peace, love, and all the above for the most part. So why not just do it the right way? I mean, if you're one of them guys that punches the clock and pays your taxes and cuts your lawn, man, be that guy. If you just happen to love motorcycles and ride in a club, you're still the same guy. You just like to ride in a motorcycle, ride your motorcycles with a group of your friends, and y'all all wear the same patch. Be that guy. Everybody in a club does not have to be a diamond. Everybody doesn't have to be a tough guy. So just go with the flow. Do how this thing is supposed to be done, man, and you'll really enjoy this whole motorcycle lifestyle.
So, in keeping a relationship going back and forth, keeping a strong relationship with the dominant here in my area and many areas like mine, you got 100 dominants. I've got a place where one of my chapters is where every motorcycle club in the area is a diamond. We're the only non-diamond in the whole damn area. So you have to keep good relationships with everybody. When you maybe see a club hanging out more with those guys than they hang out with you,
Mm.
uh, how is a club expected to keep everybody happy?
Okay. Well, again, and I hate saying this, but it's very true. Oh, by the way, Gio, that is a special Gio just asked me what was I sipping on. I swear to you, this is ginger ale and watermelon juice. No kidding. I swear that's what it is. I'm trying something new. I had to get at you, Gio. Gio the Great. Thanks for watching, man. Anyway, but to answer to answer that question though, and again, here we go back to the region or the area. In my area, like I've said this to folks who inquired about my association or me being cool with somebody from a certain other club. That guy over there didn't like that guy, and so my speech is, "Hey, you ain't my daddy. You don't pick my damn friends. So mind your business and keep it moving. If you don't like who I deal with, then you don't got to deal with me. You don't got to deal with them. I don't care." Because at the end of the day, I am who I am. My club, as long as my club is good, I ain't worried about what you think. Now, but that's me. Now, understand that's me. I mean, I got a different status going on right now. But as it relates to a club that got blessed. Now, the way I look at it, if I bless a club to be in the area, hey, they can do whatever they want. If there's a very big concern about that club that I bless, or if a club is blessed by us, for example, hey, man, handle your business. As long as they're meeting the obligations or the expectations that I have, I got no issues. If there is some major important thing going on, like for like their own safety, as to why it is that they might not want to be around somebody else, I'll advise them of that. I'll advise them of that. But if it's a support club, that's a little different. Support clubs have a tendency to move like we do. A club that's blessed by us, they can do whatever the hell they want to do. Um, I would suggest that
Yeah,
they.
but, the question is,
Mhm.
you bless me, but I'm spending all my time over at such and such a place.
Yeah.
That happens to be maybe even an enemy or whatever. I mean, I've heard it said, oh, why you guys haven't come over and checked us out? We always see you over there. What's up with that?
Now, now that's an interesting thing. Let's say that somebody, hey, we gave them the go ahead and help them get started, and they're spending all their time somewhere else. They can do that, but I kind of mentioned a little earlier, the same way somebody got that blessing is the same way they can lose it. So, your actions dictate your true intent. So if they just needed a blessing and any old body would do, well, that's fine. So now I understand that. So now let me take that back. I'm just saying just me personally, I would be inclined to move like that. But before anything gets too exciting or anything like that, hey, I have everything most things can get settled with a conversation. So I'm just saying I'd be inclined to be like, hey man, what's going on with that? Oh, well, my sister just married so and so, and he got hit by a bus, and antelope ran over his head, and man, we felt sorry for him. So we've been trying to keep an eye on him. Okay, that could be true. It could be BS. I don't know. But if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then I'm going to do what duck hunters do. But it just depends. The thing is, the goal is to keep peace in the Middle East and all like that. But again, a lot of things. Now, I'm telling you from my way of thinking. Now, on the set, those are two different things. What because I'm one of these. I'm pretty sure we can work this out.
Right.
Until we can't. But other places. Now, let me tell you, some other places they move real different. I know some cats that move real different. So if they have a club that they blessed, and that club is, forget hanging out all the time, hanging out once. Oh, you guys were where last Saturday? Certain clubs move real different. Certain clubs are going to address that immediately. No conversation necessary. And guess what? That club don't exist no more.
So
You
let
know,
me ask you this. Extreme Racer said, how do you guys feel about official clubs who are sanctioned by the AMA? Can clubs come into an area that are AMA sanctioned and be like, hey, yeah, we got our, I don't know what y'all talking about. You see
yeah,
this
yeah,
AMA right here? AMA.
yeah,
AMA. Okay. All right. How does that go?
yeah.
I mean, it's a good one for me because I've heard this a lot. I'm sanctioned by the
That's
AMA.
that's a great question, but I'll tell you now. Usually, when I think about a club that's sanctioned by the AMA, I think about. I'm not kidding. There's like I can't think of one off the top of my head that's important. That's even recognized for real on the set. Like maybe you might have what is that, like the Shriners or something like that, or some the guys that wear the funny hats, the fez, and like you see them in the parades. Okay, that's cool. They stay in their lane, no big deal. But if we're out in the world, right? We're out on the set, and the conversation gets started, and they start, hey, AMA baby. First, I'm not kidding you. I would laugh my ass off. That would be hilarious. I would love to see that. But yeah, that's not. I don't want to say it's not a real thing because I'm sure the AMA is still around, and there's probably some cats
Yeah,
that are.
they're real. They're real. They bless clubs. Uh, I think more of them like blessing riding clubs or
Yeah,
MSOs or associations and stuff. When people ask me that question, I'm just kind of like, I really don't know. I'm not an
yeah.
AMA blessed club, and AMA wouldn't bless black clubs until
Oh yeah.
very late into the thing. So
I was
by
gonna say
by their
that's
own
the
admission,
reason.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it
that's one of the reasons I don't. I'll just tell you, like, so because that's one of the big reasons why I don't give a damn about the AMA, because up until not that long ago, me or a club any club I've been affiliated with throughout my entire adult life, up until not that long ago, couldn't get blessed by the AMA even if we wanted to. But the clubs that were getting blessed by the AMA wasn't anybody that had any kind of influence or say so about anything anyway. So again, you know, so but
so
so I
let's
guess no
let's
good.
talk topic for just a second here, since Slow Burn Ritual paid us for this question. We appreciate the super chat.
Right
Uh,
on.
I don't know the answer to this. When and why did MC start writing two by two? Hell, I don't know. Do, do
I'll
you?
tell you. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you as much as I know about that. And I've heard a few different things. One of the things is that it takes a greater degree of skill to ride in what they call, now we some people say two by two or bar by bar, but a lot of diamonds we call that the suicide formation. The reason it's called the suicide formation is because if you're riding in that bar to bar or that side by side formation, if somebody wipes out the guy in the front or in the middle or whatever, uh, whoever you hit, chances are he's going to hit the guy next to him. So there's a couple of guys that are at the very least you're going to take out a couple of guys right there. Um, and it's not that things don't happen. Like a tire might fly up from the road, or any number of things might happen while you're on the road. In order to avoid utter catastrophe, sometimes the only thing that saves you and everybody behind you, and in some cases people in front of you, is you have to have a certain level of mastery of that motorcycle. So one percenters, at least in the case of one percenters and many OMCs, their thing is, or our thing is to be a master of what we do. You're supposed to be better at riding. You're supposed to be better at understanding the history of this stuff. You're supposed to be better at protocol. You're supposed to be on top of your entire MC game. And a big part of being in a motorcycle club, and this is the part people forget, is the motorcycle, actually riding the motorcycle. So, from what I know about the whole side by side thing, for as long as I've seen this, and I've seen the differences with like sport bike clubs or 99s and like that, where they ride in a staggered formation or just all over the damn road, no formation to it. I was on a ride a few months ago, going down south, and there was a new person. It was a female who was riding on somebody's bike, and when we stopped, she ran up and she goes, "Man," she goes, "that was like synchronized swimming on freaking motorcycles. I've never seen anything like that before." We do certain hand signals and certain things that we do while we're going from point A to point B, to change lanes or to split lanes or to go around a vehicle or to stop a car so that everybody falls in. It's like all this different stuff. So on a long ride, someone who's never seen this before, this stuff is amazing. And this is a woman who used to be associated with a certain 99 club who didn't really ride that much. In fact, they never left the state, or they never left the city. Well, we'll keep it 100. So the first time she saw a real club riding like real bikers do, it was amazing. But going back to the question, yeah, we riding in suicide formation, unless the road captain gives the signal to stagger it, or unless the road captain gives the signal to front to back, or whatever he says, we do it. And there's not a conversation that's had about it. It's all hand signals. But it goes back to the mastery of the motorcycle. So what I notice is clubs that are proud of themselves, or that put it out that, hey, we actually know how to ride. The majority of the time, if there's a club that is known for riding well or riding long distances, they have a tendency to ride bar to bar, or in that suicide formation. That's just the history of it as far as what I've seen.
Our brother Hardcore says, and it's also a hangover from military days,
Yeah.
cavalry days, which of course they. Here's a question.
What's up,
Hardcore brother says, "What's up?" Here's a question I have. Are there any states where suicide riding is illegal? I've ridden all across the country suicide style, but I remember down in Macon, a cop pulled us over and said, "You can't do that here." And as soon as he drove down the road, we went back to our formation. But is there a place, do you know of, that won't let you ride like that? I just thought I would just stay off the subject for one more minute.
Yeah. There was a guy, we were doing a ride a few years ago, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. We were riding somewhere, still within the state of Florida, a few hours away. And something came up. We were going through this town, and the police car pulled up, and he, whoop, whoop, like went all the way to the front of the pack and started yelling, like, "Hey, you can't do that." We had no idea what he was talking about. So we start, light turned green. We started moving out. He rolled next to the pack. At the next red light, he's like, "Hey, you can't do that." The road captain says, "Do what?" He said, "You're riding side by side. You can't do that. You have to stagger it." Road captain said, "Okay." Light turned green. We just did what we was doing anyway. Didn't change a thing. And, at this point, it was like 80, 90, bros riding together. He had bigger fish to fry that day, I'm sure. So nobody listened. But again, that's a we have a certain ideology about stuff. But so I don't know if it's actually against the law anywhere. But I know some Leos don't necessarily like it. Now, for different reasons, though. I know there's some Leos that see that and they think, oh, that's those guys. That must be them. Look at how they're riding. Others, unaware of what's really going on, might think, oh, that's not so safe. I read the manual, and the manual said it's better if we're riding to do it this way. Not because there's an actual law, and there might be, but I don't think that the guys that, the Leos that raise issues about this are really, a lot of times they're probably not actually following the law. They're just trying to enforce what they think is best, or trying to see if they can get away with it anyway.
So back to the subject. We took a little turn for a minute, but back to the subject. People seem to be enjoying this topic tonight. We're going to go back a little bit, back to that guy who was trying to get his club blessed. And here's one, like I said,
Lil Dead.
There's 20 dominants in every city now. Lil Dead says, would you have to get blessed by every dominant in the city if there are multiple dominants?
No, absolutely not. In fact, to be real honest with you, depending on where you are, there's a number of dominants that don't bless anybody. And again, depending on where you are, they might be a dominant club in name, but in practice, hey, they're just doing their own thing. They're not too much different than the majority of the clubs out there. They just have a tendency to do their own thing. But what they're not doing is they're not fishing in my pond, so to speak. They're doing whatever they're doing, and that business is left to the legitimate dominance. Because of the fact that there's more than one percenter club in an area or in a state does not mean that every one of those clubs is what every one of those particular clubs is what we call the landlord. Typically, in a state or in an area, you might have one or two landlords. That's about it. Anything more than that, then there's headaches and problems that can come up as a result of that. But typically, there's one or two landlords in any given state.
Well, another thing would be you have to uh, um, understand how to use your COCs and organizations like that, because they can handle that blessing, and you're good everywhere.
Yeah.
Is that a little bit of what you do down there in the South down there?
Yep. Yep. What we do is, and let's say there's a club, and the COC has rules as far as who they're gonna get started or induct and allow entry into the COC and so forth. Like, for example, if a club comes from, let's say California again, club is an existing club in California wants to get set up here in my area. Well, the first thing I'm going to want to know is who's that club, who's that club, um, who, if anybody, bless them for where they came from. If they're a national club, that's a little different. But the biggest thing is, how long has your club been in existence? If your club has been around for 20 minutes, I don't care. Uh, you're not going to be a part of my COC if you've been here for just a very short period of time. I need 2 years of history at the minimum, 2 years history on your club, no matter where they came from. They could be from Istanbul. I don't care. I need at least 2 years of history on that club before we can have that conversation. Um, but then at that point, that particular club, based on some variety of different things, we're gonna if we bring that club into the COC, we're also going to make sure that that club has crossed the T's and dot the I's in regard to the community and whoever their dominant should be. So the idea is to make sure that everything is done. So if a club is coming into the COC, they're in good standing. They're in good standing throughout the community that they're in. So they don't. So COC clubs don't have issues about who the dominant is and these sort of things, because those sort of things are understood and worked out well before the process even got started for bringing them into the COC. So a lot of conversations happen to make that happen.
So, as we've moved into we've got our club, we're rolling along, we're doing okay. How is it that we maintain a good relationship with the Diamond Club? What is considered a good relationship?
Okay.
How we're not a support club or anything, but how do we maintain a good relationship? What makes me good with you and you good with me, and we're treating each other great, and we know that we're good, that we
Right on.
stay good.
Hey, real quick, Cody Jackson said, at the end of the day, suicide riding is about trust, moving as one unit with efficiency, honor, and respect. And man, that's very true. We say in my club, we say 90 miles an hour and 3 feet apart is how Outcast Bros gain trust. And so it's trust and some other things that happen when you're doing those kind of miles. 90 miles an hour, 3 feet apart. That's not like just a meme, because I saw the meme that actually either I made it or somebody made it, and it went all around the planet. But that's a real thing. Uh, so yeah, that's a big part of it, trust and understanding. But that also comes from you getting together and riding your motorcycles together. You should do it frequently, because that a lot of problems in clubs get hammered out on the pavement. Like you'd be surprised. You could have a big problem with whomever, or they could have a problem with you. 2 states away, you forgot what y'all were mad about, or you're in a better headspace to work it out. But anyway, going back to your question, BD, I think in maintaining a good relationship with your dominant, or which is not too much different than other clubs. It goes back to those jailhouse rules, man. It's about respect. So if you understand and done your homework, and you know how you're supposed to conduct yourself, and you understand protocol, which protocol is by definition respect. That's what protocol is for. It's to make sure it's a set of rules put together to make sure that you are doing as you are supposed to do, and those other folks by default do what they're supposed to do because you came correct, you handled yourself properly. That puts them, they're required to do things properly because you did your thing properly. So back and forth, it's about respect. But so really, uh, building a relationship, and here's one of the things that a lot of people miss. Building a relationship with your dominant does not mean y'all are best buddies and kissing on the cheek or nothing like that. What that means is, hey man, uh, nobody's upset with you and you ain't upset with them. You can move about the city or the state or wherever as you need to, and if you do it properly, your club will be not just recognized but respected. Like, hey man, those guys do their thing. They go out there, they ride their bikes, they back up their brothers. And with us here, hey, they're a part of the community, they're plugged in. If you need them, you can call them, they're coming. Not because I'm the dominant, but because of the fact that, hey, another brother on the set said, hey man, can you help out? Or and by the same token, if they need a thing, as a dominant is supposed to answer that call. If their support club, or if it's a support club, forget about it. Yeah, absolutely, everybody and their mother's coming. You watch out for your folks. But if it's a club that you blessed and they have an issue, problem, or concern that is, let's say, above their echelon, then as a dominant, you're supposed to answer that call and address their concerns. So that's really the way that the relationship building goes. Now, in the process of doing that, sometimes people get cool. They get cool. Hey, that's my boy over there. That boy, we blessed them 3 years ago, man. Look at them go. And now we're cool. So now your relationship might be a little bit different than it was on day one. But that's just how friendships and relationships happen anyway, isn't it?
Right. My brother Hardcore says your relationships must transcend your local area, must be transparent, must be vouchable by a brother.
Yeah.
So
Well
speak
said.
to that a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
What's
We've
he
had
talking about?
we've had a number of occasions where I find myself doing this a lot, where a club, especially in regard to national clubs, because national clubs have chapters, some are everywhere, and we have a relationship with a certain club, or I do, or my club does, or our clubs have history, right? And that club is in some place where I'm not, and not where my homeboy is, but that club is having an issue or a concern. The thing about relationships are, especially nowadays with these damn handy dandy cell phones and stuff, man, now with a relationship, you can pick up a phone and call somebody that you know who might be able to lend a hand in regard to this situation is happening 10 states away, because he can call a guy who he knows and you can call another guy that you know, and next thing you know, a problem that otherwise could have been a gigantic problem goes away with a couple of phone calls. And it's really a blessing, and it goes back to what this whole MC thing is about. You know, like we were talking about as far as like the clubs that got a blessing here, and that kind of thing. The thing is that those relationships, they should transcend your local area. But getting started, kind of like what I was babbling about earlier, is get on your motorcycle, pound the ground, get to learn who the folks are in your community. And the thing that you'll find is that community gets larger and larger and larger the more that you do that, because you're going to find yourself not just staying, if you're doing it right, you're not going to just stay in your city all the time. You're going to find yourself wanting to go other places. You're going to meet folks who are 2 cities away and 10 states away, or as you were 10 cities away, then 2 or 3 states away. And then next thing you know, your club, and I'm not saying overnight, but over a period of time, you might find your club that used to just have that one chapter now has 2 or 3 or more. Or maybe you're just going over there to spend time with some other folks. I mean, hell, from last year to this year, I've been all around the damn country. I don't know if Pac is listening tonight, but I was in Minot, North Dakota. Minot, freaking cold ass North Dakota. In what was that, back in
Back in
October?
cold. Back
Yeah,
in cold.
back in the cold months, and everything's cold. And if you're from Florida, everything's cold, but especially in the winter months in those cold places. But so there I was in Minot, North Dakota, and then a whole bunch of other states, over the course of a few months, just pounding the ground and pressing the flesh and meeting some folks that we've connected with over a period of time. Some folks, shoot, I met Pac as a result of doing this show, and And me and this dude talk all the time. And guess what? As his club had a concern, without putting everybody's business out in the street, he had a concern that came up once, and it was great. I could make a few phone calls and take care of a few things, and that happens. But that's what happens when you build relationships. Now, it's also very important to understand that somebody somewhere else who can benefit from a relationship. Let's say me and Black Dragon have a relationship. Somebody who don't live in neither of the places where we live can benefit from the relationship that me and you have. That don't mean that those guys in bumfuck Egypt or wherever they are don't need to do the same exact thing in their area. They can't live off of Black Dragon's relationship or my relationship or whatever. They have to create their own in that area. But can we smooth the way a little bit? Absolutely, absolutely. We can do that, especially when everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. Like going back to them jailhouse rules, man. And it's what this full circle. This is full circle stuff.
Man, it is hard to believe an hour has has passed us. We're at 56 minutes. Uh, wow, what a hell of a conversation tonight. What do you think?
I think it's been interesting. What we didn't talk about, which was some really important stuff, is I understand that gotta quit with these things. Anyway, so the thing that came up, man, is something that everybody's talking about. Is the fact that Redbone attacked you with a knife, and she went on your beard, and she did the things, and we were scared for you. But it's very pretty, and I need to, I'm just saying, if I got to come up, maybe I could get a touch up. I'm just saying,
Let
because
me tell you, this is ugly because this is ugly because I said, do not touch my beard. Okay.
touch your beard.
I was talking to you on the phone.
Yeah,
I said, okay, I want my beard to stay. Okay.
I heard. Hey, let me do it for you. It's like, do not, no matter what you're doing, don't touch my beard. Okay. Yeah. Did you? I just said not to. Yeah. Like, hold still. Yeah. Are you cutting my? Yeah. I'm like, okay. So in my head, I'm like, I just can't wait to see what it looks like. Did she do a good job or not? Because that was some of that in one ear, out the other.
Yeah, I like the connecting piece and stuff that I had. She said, "Don't worry, your hair grows back fast."
That you had, past tense, had.
Oh my! I've been trying to get this. I want a real beard. You know what I mean? So I can ride around.
You want, you want a Santa Claus? You want a Santa Claus?
And she, every time it gets like 1 inch over here, I say, "Hey, don't touch." So
Hey, let me
have
share
a
that.
cool double point, and that
Right?
was taken.
I kind of had one. I got to work on that. I got to fix that. But hey, I'll throw out a couple of things. One, I got heard from a ton of folks this week. I don't know if I tried to get back with everybody to answer questions, comments, concern. If we didn't discuss any of that tonight, hey, hit me up and I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. But the email is bone.outcast@gmail.com, and the Instagram is bone OFFO or big bone. Oh yeah, what he said. So big bone OFFO, and then the Facebook is bone OFFO. But y'all get at me, man. Love the questions, and I'm going to try to get back with everybody as straight away. Other than that, I'm going to be doing this new show. I got all kinds of fancy equipment. I've been playing with it a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
In a little bit, yeah. I got to
You got to do that before it's technology, and it ain't going to work the first time. So
yeah.
that's the
But
bottom line.
I'm going to be coming out with this show. I got to send you some of the thumbnails from it so you can see it. But we're going to be coming out with this show. We're effective. We're calling it interimly. We're calling it the Big Boneyard. We might stick with that. I need some feedback. What do y'all think, if anything, a new show should be called? I'm going to be doing
I named that show. I just want it to be known
Yep.
that I named that show.
Yeah, you did. Matter of fact, you made one of the logos and
Yeah.
didn't know that's what you was doing. I didn't know you was doing that, but I'm definitely going to be using it.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
that, it's kind of perfect. Kind of perfect.
Okay. So listen, I appreciate you as always for just having my back on so many things, and for coming and making this show great tonight. I think we answered a lot of questions. The overall general idea is respect. If you can carry yourself with respect, treat yourself with respect, and have respectful relationships, it's about, it's not so out of the realm of possibility. Go visit those guys, hang out with them. You don't have to be there every weekend, but stop by, show them that there is a respect. We appreciate that we're able to move and do the things that we need to do, and we don't mind stopping by the clubhouse from time to time and hitting the bar and helping the folks move forward. These are just normal things that we do. I'm always, if you have these kinds of relationships, you're blown away when they show up at your event 85 bikes deep to say, hey, we appreciate you, little brother. We're glad to see you. We have respect for your get down, and we've come to buy your bar out. See, it goes both ways.
Yeah,
A lot of guys
absolutely.
never get a chance to understand that.
Oh, let me throw this out real quick. So about 2005, I was head of this thing called the TBA, Tampa Bay Alliance. I was real involved with it. I can't remember I was the head or whatever at the time, but anyway, this one certain biker had went down. He was known and well loved. He was the president from one of the sport bike clubs in the area, and his family was going through it. The guy had lost his leg, and having all kinds of problems. Anyway, it took me about 3 days to reach out to different organizations in the area, saying, "Man, we need to do something for this dude, and we need to do it this weekend." And in 3 days, huge turnout. And I had forgotten to reach out to some of the diamond clubs in the area. And so the day of the event, I reached out to some of these cats, and I remember one of them, this one guy, I won't say his name, but this one certain guy from one certain diamond club. I said, "Hey man," I said, "I know this is real last minute, but we're doing this thing for this guy. You might have heard about it." "Yeah, I heard some about it." "Okay, we're doing a thing for this guy, man. You guys probably can't make it, but if you can, or if you got a couple of bucks that y'all could spare, man, that would be great." And he said, "Oh," he says, "we'll see." He says, "What time does it start?" I said, "It starts at noon." He said, "Okay, we'll be there." Now, this particular club I was talking to was about 2.5 hours away. And I said, "It starts at noon, man, but I know, it's real last minute. It's Saturday. Y'all probably got stuff to do, da, 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 da." And he said to me, he goes, "Man, I got a diamond on my chest that says that we ride motorcycles. If I say we'll be there, we'll be there. We'll see you in a few hours." I said, "Okay." Well, I done pissed him off. The guy seemed like he got an attitude, and I don't know what's that all about. Long story short, these guys showed up about 60 deep. And, my guys, I was with a 99 club back then. And the guy says, "Hey," he says, "Hey, Prez." I said, "What?" He goes, "So and so just showed up." I said, "Who?" "Yeah, the one percenters, they showed up. I think it's going to be a problem." I said, "Oh, man, let me get out here and deal with this problem." So I go outside the gates. These guys come walking up, and the president of the chapter I was talking to said, "Hey, what's going on? Looks like a good turnout." I said, "Yeah." He said, "This might help out." And he reached in his pocket, in his vest, and he hands me an envelope full of cash that was enough cash to choke a horse. And he goes, "I hope that'll help out." And he gave me like a couple of three stacks. I'm like, wow, blew
Wow.
me away. And they stayed, probably, no kidding, stayed about 40 minutes and took off and went the hell back to where they came from. And I was like, wow, that's and that was the first time I saw that. I've seen that so many times before. I've done it myself, and whenever I have the opportunity to do that, it always feels really good, because I remember how it felt when I was a 99 and these cats came through and broke me off, which is also why, as a 99, whenever these cats came through, I never said, "Hey, you got to pay at the door," or nothing like that, because typically, traditionally, that diamond club, they're not going to have their guys in a bottleneck at the door. They're going to, "Hey, let all my guys in. Let us know where." Actually, you did a show about this. Um, Let my guys in. We don't want a bottleneck at the door. Tell us where we're going to be. Show us that. And the last guy is going to be like, here's something for your trouble. And he's going to give you an envelope. And it's usually a lot more than that $5 or $10 you was asking for at the front door.
That's all comes back to the relationships.
Yeah,
If you have
yeah,
relationships, if you don't have relationships, you can expect uh, to be clowned at your door. If you
Yeah.
have relationships, you get a call. We're on our way. And I did a whole video about that. We got to
Yeah.
get out of here. But before I let you go, I hate to do this. I like to be the guy that has the stuff. And I'm really pissed that Brothers of Liberty DC just came up with a better name for your show, perhaps, than the one I had.
What's that?
Oh, I don't know if I can tell you. It's already scrolled past.
All right. All right. I gotta look
It's
through. I
it's
gotta find it.
it's bad to the bone.
Ooh. Ready?
Bad to the bone with big bone. Oh my God, that might be better than the boneyard. Damn.
Ready?
Wow, boy, that was nice right there.
Yeah.
Bad to the bone with big bone, 1%er. Now that I don't know. I like boneyard better.
Wait, check it. Hold on.
And
Look,
Tia
check
says,
it.
"Oh, bad to the bone is better." You know, Tia, I'm not even
Wait
happy
a
with
minute. Wait, look at
you.
this. Look at this. You see this?
Mic drop. Hey man, listen, thank you so much for being on the show. Bad to the bone with big bone 1%er coming soon. I want one of the first. DC gets the first t-shirt. Brothers of Liberty DC get the first t-shirt. I want me a t-shirt, bro.
We
Oh,
got
by the
covered. We
way,
got covered.
this is my celebration of my naval time in the United States Navy.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody asked me why I was wearing Hollywood on my shirt.
Hey, you am what you am.
I am what I am, and that's all that I am. Hey, folks. Hey, man, appreciate you, man. Talk to you later. Thank you so much. God bless. Hey, y'all, I appreciate y'all as well. Our time is up. We've done an hour. I hope you guys have gotten some stuff from this. It's important to have these relationships that we can maintain and keep, and we can do these things that we do. But good relationships allow us to have freedom of mobility and just be off on our own and able to do our own thing. One of the brothers in my club, Hardcore, says integrity is equally as important in every relationship that you have. Integrity is everything, right? If you have integrity, your word can be counted on. If you say you're going to be somewhere, you're going to be there. You can be trusted. You're not doing anything underhanded or backdoor. You're not running people's names in the dirt or doing other ugly, unmanly crap. So integrity is important in every relationship that you have. So when you're building these relationships and you know, we learned this thing tonight, you can go up to somebody, you can meet them, you can talk to them, you can have discussions with them, and you can support them and they will absolutely support you. So these are the things that we know about relationship building, no matter who you're relationship building with. So that's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. We'll be back in the morning for Black Dragon Biker News, the Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust. Hey, thanks for tuning in and get skinny. Thank you, all of my people. Oh, my goodness, who have been supporting me forever. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for listening to an old man rant. And make sure to get the book. Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book. And of course, you guys know I love these rings. My sister accused me of having demonic rings. How you gonna accuse me? She told me she was terrified of my rings, and she said each ring was more demonic than the one that I would previously put on. Each one was more terrifying than the previous one. And I don't understand how she could say that about my rings. My rings are cool. You know, you gotta have you some cool rings. If you're, these are my rings, man. So if you like rings, like I like rings, biker rings, you can go here to Gothic Rings, gthic.com. Just like with the soap company, if you use your discount code of Black Dragon, you get you a very cool discount, 20% in this case. I like the Medusa ring, man. They got some very cool rings here. They got Masonic rings, So use these folks. They got pewter and all kind of stuff, silver, actual silver, in these rings, and they've got stainless steel rings. Man, their rings are the bomb. I like them. I wear them. So get you some. Get you some, man. Get you some. Okay, here. Let's check this out real quick. I've been talking about my hero soap. I wanted to show you guys. Here's my empty bag of my hero soap. I actually use this stuff. I'm going to do a commercial with me in the shower. You guys like that, won't you? Won't you guys like seeing me in the shower? I'm going to have a model with me. Some sort of maybe 2 or 3 models around me. I don't know if you guys remember the commercials that used to have Joe Namath in them. Great balls of comfort with Noxzema. You remember those commercials? You guys old enough for that? Where he had these models around and he's in the shower and he's got this Noxzema cream. Yeah, so I'm gonna do me some. You guys want to see me naked, right? So anyway, this Hero Soap Company, I use this stuff. They sent it to me. I used it, and it's awesome stuff. And what I like about it, and I'll just be kind of cool with this, is that it's manly. It smells good. They got all kinds of soaps. They've got lavender and all these kind of manly smells. Peppermint tea tree, peppermint cool, spearmint. The woods. They have body washes now, which is new for them. They didn't have the body washes when they first contacted me, but they got them now. What I like about these folks is that they give a percentage of their sales back to charities that are focused on helping veterans and first responders. So that's they say, we want to thank you for helping us support our veterans. So if you and first responders, so if you buy some of this soap, they're going to send. You can get a subscription. That's the other thing. You can get a soap subscription, like you can get a razor blade subscription. And if you buy their soap, a few things happen. One, you get some soap to wash your ass. They get some money that part of it they're going to give to veterans and first responders. And if you use the discount code Black Dragon, which is what we're hoping you use, they will give a percentage to us as well, which helps keeps the show supported. So good on them, good on you, good on us.
You are fake news.
Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust.
Biker news you can trust. Biker news you can trust. Biker news you can trust.